Hello class, my name is Mary Washington and my presentation is on advising underrepresented minority students. The overview of my presentation is the needs for academic achievement, the mentoring programs, and the retention when working with and advising minority students. The biggest risk and problem we have is retention among minority students and the low rates of a completion rate with dealing with minority students. Issues affecting minority students is inadequate academic preparation, substandard educational resources, mismatched social and academic expectations, lack of encouragement, psychological intimidation, unstable family financial circumstances, and inadequate peer support and lack of role modeling. Many of these issues affected minority students. This starts in high school and a lot of times follow them into higher education as far as college. Inadequate peer support could be friends back home who do not understand higher education or do not have the mental stability to go, so they try to talk the minority students out of going. And a lot of times this deal with our minority males. Our minority males have a lot of ego when it deals with, well, male in general have egos, but such as inadequate peer support, your male minorities like to be the cool person among the group. So when they're not the cool person among the group, a lot of times it's hard for them to be able to continue and do what is right when they don't have that stability or that role model that's there to encourage them. In order to have academic achievement among our minority students, underrepresented students, we need to take a greater look at family-home relationships, and as academic advisors, this is when the role come in as far as finding out information about the student, getting the story. How did they end up in school? How did they end up in higher education? That specific school. What are they going for? Racial identity issues. Sometimes arriving on campus and the different climate of the culture of the campus, it can have a waiver as far as dealing with academic achievements among minority students. I know one, if you attend a campus that is predominantly a white institution and the culture is geared more towards the majority, it kind of can affect your academic achievement. The lack of holistic development, and this again is one of the academic advisors' way of reaching out to the student and getting them to share more information as far as being, I say, a mother figure or a father figure, a big brother. And we just need to have, as academic advisors, a relationship with minority underrepresented students. Being a minority myself, African American, I know our upbringing is more loving, family orientated, hugging, and I know everyone is not a hugger, but I'm just stating that it's that family value. And then you have some that didn't come from a family value, that grew up that they had to do everything. Maybe it was a little hard for them. So they don't know how to share in that loving or mother figure type of advising, but they're looking for it. They might not have had it, but they've seen others have it and they're yearning for that. And that's one of the ways that I think as academic advisors. Now I know male advisors, it might be something different, but the main thing is minority students need to feel that they can trust you. If there's no trust or they don't feel that what you're saying is going to benefit them, you really have lost them, and you have to try to find a way for them to trust you and build that trust up. Another area is for us the ethnic racial identity. A lot of times minority students, they have the identity as far as including achievement goals, developing a strong sense of self. If they're having problems with them themselves, it is hard for them to be able to work towards achieving a goal as far as getting studies done. Also, stereotype threat. How do we reduce that as academic advisors? We, once again, It has to be a trust issue. You have to have a form that relationship with that student. And another thing is relating one's cultural and ethnic issues to oneself. How do we relate academic achievement to minority students, students of colors? Everyone is going to be different. And as far as academic advisors, it doesn't matter the race that you are. I think at the end, everyone needs to be able to and have the education and knowledge to advise any student. Although my presentation is on minorities, me as being an African American, I have to also be able to advise non-minority students as well. There might be times where I might not understand something from a different student, but that is where coming in with training and knowledge, workshops, this is where we need to come in and attend those meetings and workshops and training to ensure that we have the education and the knowledge to be able to advise the students. Like I said, everyone is going to be different. So minority students, although this is the presentation on that, everyone within minority students will be different. Holistic development. This is one of the big areas that we hear about all the time in academic advising, and especially dealing with and working with minority students. And it's called the other mothering, which, as I spoke of earlier, is more of the mothering, coddling type development relationship with minority students that help them perform well, and like I said, have that trust issues. And students of different races are used to that concept. It is our role as academic advisors to be that person. I know I have the questionnaire, is it our role? And I really do believe it is our role. There are going to be people that disagree with me, that state that that is not our role to be that person. That is not our job. But our job is to make sure that we are helping students retention rate among minority underrepresented students and helping them fulfill their goals as far as academic achievements. The HBCUs, faculty, and staff are trained that it is their moral and spiritual duty to develop their students in this holistically development type of way. And I think that's just one of the things that we were upbringed as far as, like I said, again, that hugging, being that mother figure, just trying to have that trust and set up that relationship. And I know a lot of times the predominantly white institutions, they feel a different need, well, they have a different mind frame when it deals with that. And I think they're more, a lot of times, some of the advisors within PWIs feel that that's too much as far as trying to advise students. And I feel that whatever the need is needed, that is what we should be doing. The academic advisor-advisee relationship. The relationships that we have as far as with students is very important. The lack of connecting between students of different races and advisors is sensitive to different cultures and culture perspectives are present in advising curriculum. These are the things as advisors that we must look out for when we're advising students. In order to be able to build a relationship, we need to be able to reach out to the students. Minority retention. What are we doing as advising officers to retain underrepresented students? We have first year programs, learning support, academic advising, and we have mentoring programs. One of the reasons that minority retention is hard is because a lot of times it's financial issues and there's campus climate and curriculum issues. And as academic advisors, we have to do better with advising our students and getting them the resources that they need. Minority retention. What works to retain minority students specifically? We have different mentoring programs. We have minority enrollment. We have formal mentoring and spontaneous relationships. As I stated before, we need to be able to have that relationship with the student, because once again, they will know, minority students will know if you're being fake or real with them. And once they feel that they can't trust you, it's a draw. So to be successful, for an academic office to be successful, cultural competence department, we need committed leadership, human and financial resources, energetic, compassionate, and dedicated individuals, quality trained advisors, and ongoing assessment. Sorry I had to rush at the end. Hopefully you got something out of my presentation. Have a good evening.